Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and Jumaat Barakah to everyone. Welcome to the IIUM Industrial Webinar Series 2021 on the CEO of Faculty Program 2.0 sharing session. I hope you have your coffee or brunch with you so that you can enjoy it throughout our session. Now, first of all, if you're new to our channel, I'd like to invite you to click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification so you won't miss out on our upcoming sessions, webinars, and informative videos. We will share the attendance link shortly, so do look out in our chat box. I'm Khalila from Office of Industrial Links, and I'll be your moderator for today. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for tuning in this morning. So give us a shout out in the chat box to share with us where you're from, which Kulliyyah, which university, agency or company, or even which country if you're watching us from outside of Malaysia. And with us this morning, we have Assistant Professor T.S. Dr. Nur Affah Mohyin from Department of Quantity Surveying, Kulliyyah of Architecture and Environmental Design. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Affah.
Waalaikumsalam, Khalila.
How are you this morning?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Thank you. Great to be here with you.
Thank you for being with us today. So allow me to introduce you first, Dr. Affah, to our audience. Dr. Affah from Department of Quantity Surveying CAED obtained her PhD in Construction Management from Loughborough University in 2011. She has had an extensive experience teaching and developing programs in quantity surveying and construction management. And she is also actively involved as an associate editor in a journal and members of various committees and projects. Dr. Affah was attached at CIMB Group under the mentorship of Datuk Hamidah Naziaddin, the Group Chief People Officer for CIMB and CEO of CIMB Foundation. The attachment went for a period of 6 months from September 2018 until February 2019 under the CEO at Faculty Program 2.0. And today, Dr. Affah will be sharing with us about how we can promote unity in diversity based on her experience with CIMB Foundation. So brothers and sisters, please give a warm welcome to Dr. Affah.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Office of Industrial Link for inviting me and to all of you for being here and listen to us. I believe it is important for us to reflect on how we live our life and connect with people around us, those who are close and even far, especially during these challenging times of COVID-19. And so this is why I choose to talk about unity in diversity today. I'll be sharing my experience in CSR during my attachment at the CIMB Group and also CIMB Foundation, especially on the programs that promote unity in diversity. So let me start with sharing just a little bit brief about what is CSR. I'm sure some of you are aware of this term, but maybe to some this is a new term to you. So basically, CSR is corporate social responsibility that relates to a company commitment and accountability for any actions that they do that might affect people, community, and also the environment. And I'm sure some of you are aware of what's happening in our country and also the world with this pandemic crisis of COVID-19. We have seen many businesses come forward, right? They do a lot of social responsibility program, giving helps to the frontliners and also the community at large, right? And so I think this is important for us also to look at the different angle of CSR where how this activity or initiative can also promote unity. And it is more relevant to us Malaysian as to this month we are in the month of Merdeka. So I hope this topic is always relevant and also important for us to ponder and also to have some reflection on it. So before I come to that point of sharing what CSR program that has been done in CIMB Foundation in promoting unity, I have 3 important questions that I hope we can try to take a moment to really ask ourselves honestly. The first question is the big why questions. Why is unity important to all of us? Have you ever think about this, or it's just something that we always take for granted? We live our life in this kind of racial and diversity, and we tend to take things for granted most of the time, and sometimes we don't really ask ourselves, is it really important, unity? I'm sure that we have talked about this since primary schools, high schools, university, and we continue to talk about this at workplace. But why do we keep talking and talking about this certain topic? And why do we talk about this again today? I am most inspired by these verses from Quran in Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 13, where Allah has teaches us that diversity is actually a gift, a gift from God to all of us, so that we can know each other and living in harmony and benefit and also complement one another. So the fact that diversity is something that we cannot run away from, and it is something that's given by God. So it is important for us to look at unity to ensure that we can live in harmony and also have a peaceful coexistence within this diverse community. So it is very important for us to keep talking about this, keep reflecting, and work and strive to achieve unity in our diverse community. With this importance of this unity concept, or what we talk about the topic, it led me to the second questions that we need to ask ourselves. Do we really see the value of diversity? We have a big population where we have in Malaysia, we have about almost 33 millions. And we have many races. We have diverse culture. We have very rich culture, different languages, different nation and tribe, different practices. But do we really value these differences that we have? There are already studies that found that there are some Malaysians who have no friends of another race, and some do not even interact with those of different race. It is a fact that we tend to be more comfortable and mix most with people of our own ethnic and religious group. And for the youth, that is, if you can see from this slide, the youth is the major population of the country, and it is almost the same for the rest of the world. But for this group of people, that is the younger one, cultural adaptation was found to be the most challenging action. There are also studies that has found that they might know a little bit about unity, understanding the important, but it's just at a very average level. And we can even see that it's quite alarming that some do not even know, the different culture of other races, even though we live side by side, or it is in our same neighborhood. So it leads us to the third questions of how do we really promote unity? I'm sure all of us have many interesting answers to these questions. We must have many experience of unity that make us who we are today. But if you were to recall our experiences and look at the younger generation that we have now, is there anything that we wish we can change and do better in promoting unity, so that the youth can be molded into responsible and mature citizens and future leaders of the country? With these three questions of why, what, and how in mind, I have my intention clear while preparing for this sharing, that I hope to give some idea and inspiration through my involvement in CSR program with the Cimb Foundation. As for a brief introduction, the foundation, Cimb Foundation, was launched in November 2007, and it is the philanthropic arm of Cimb Group, and is tasked with implementing CSR initiative. So one of the flagship programs that the foundation fully funded is Cimb Mosaic. This program promotes unity. So what is this program about? This is what I'm going to share. This is a unique program, a very unique CSR program that really promote unity in diversity. So this program, it is a school holiday program at the end of at the end of year school camp that is designed to foster better intercultural understanding and cooperative learning among students, the young generation, to develop their ability to achieve a collective goal. So the name of this program is Mosaic. So why Mosaic? I think some of you are aware of this. It is we can see it in the buildings that we live in, places that we go. Okay, mosaic is a piece of art or images that are made from putting together small pieces of colored glass, stones, or tiles, and it creates beautiful art designs, patterns, and shapes. Right? So this symbolizes each individual in the society, where all of us have different personality, cultures, identity, and opinions. So each of us are very unique, and when we were put together, work together, then we can make a beautiful picture of the community. Similarly, this is what the program aimed to achieve, to bring together the small, unique, and young students from various backgrounds, economic, racial, religious, and ethnic group. Okay, we gather all of them together for them to learn how to be unified Malaysian and be more beautiful when they are assembled. So a little bit background of this program. So it started with a study that was commissioned by the foundation in January 2017. Study that involved more than 500 Malays, 500 Chinese, and also 500 Indians. And the study has found that there is a disparity in the desired integration of the various culture and races in Malaysia. The finding of the study shows that the respondents, Malaysians, are mostly preferred to spend time with people from their same group. And it is a fact that we know that we are more comfortable with people that talk the same languages, do the same thing, have the same belief, right? So based on this study, it was proposed that foundation or corporation can also do some intervention to basically promote unity. And this is how this program came about. So based on the recommendation from the study, the foundation has worked with Teach for Malaysia to do a pilot program of this CIMB Mosaic in 2017, November and December 2017. And a year after that, during my attachment period, the program of the CIMB Mosaic came into places with 4 camps. So I'm going to share with you some of the pictures of the pilot program. So these are in Pasir Gudang. It is a 3-week camp where it involved almost 900 students from 23 different schools. So they are from different races and they mix together and do a lot of things. And some of the activities involve working together in a group and do showcase or presenting their finding and solutions to, and also showcase their work. So basically from this program, it shows that the students have increase in knowledge and commitment to diversity. So some of the reflections I put here, right? We can see that by giving opportunity for them to mix and to work together, it shows a positive outcome, a change in their behavior and attitudes toward each other, towards people of different races. So following the success of this pilot program, the foundation during my attachment period conducted 4 more CIMB Mosaic camp. So there are 2 programs in Sarawak and Sabah, and another 2 in Semenanjung, Malaysia. Okay, so I attended one in Sarawak. So it was carried out. It was in November 2018. Okay. And these are the pictures of the program. And in Sarawak and Sabah, it involved almost 200 primary school students. So it was targeted for primary school students from 12 different schools and from 9 districts. And some of them, it was the first experience for them to travel by aeroplane, to come together in that camp. And we spent about 4 days, 3 nights for each camp. So I will share with you some of the... Okay, let me brief you the snapshot of this program. For East Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak, the emphasis is more on English. So this is the turning point for them to, to basically improve their languages, work together and improve their communications. The subject matter is of course unity and also English. And these are through some of the activities, team building, discussion, group project, they showcase and also showcase of their group project findings, and also cultural night. During these 4 days, okay, I have seen changes in their behavior and attitude. They have made friends with different races. They, when they first arrived at the camp, they were very quiet. They just mix or click with their team, with the same school, same friend. But after 4 days, we can really see changes in their attitude and behavior. They look happier, more comfortable. So it really inspire me that there are things that we can do. There are a lot of things that we can do to basically promote unity, especially to the young one. Right. So these are the another 2 programs that Mosaic was carried out with at Negeri Sembilan, one in Negeri Sembilan, another one in Perak. Okay, so in Semenanjung, Malaysia, the program is 5 days, 4 nights, and it's also, but this time it is targeted for secondary school students. The same number, about 200 secondary school students from 13 schools, 9 districts. We gather all of them at camp, and we have a lot of activities. But this time it is targeted for secondary school, and one of the things that can, to trigger them, to excite them is through, for this younger generation, they like to play games. Okay, they are very exposed to technology. So one way of creating excitement and working together to initiate interaction between the different races is through games. And by giving them a challenge to come up with arcade game using Arduino circuits. And at the end, at the final event, is for them to showcase the games that they have developed in 5 days. So it was amazing. So these are some of the pictures. Some of them was their first experience, do coding and come up with games. But at the end, I can really see that everybody have a good time and enjoyable moment. We visited station to stations, play the different games, and it is evident that even within a very short period of time, they can do wonders, by working together. Okay, so these are a lot of pictures of the activities. We have team building activities, group project, cultural night, and because from the schools that that involved in this camp, there are schools that only Chinese schools, and there are also schools with the majority of Malay. Even though it is in Perak and Semenanjung, we cannot deny Sarawak, Perak and Negeri Sembilan, we cannot deny that they are also younger generation that have no friend of different races because of their, the neighborhood that they live in, the schools that they go, doesn't allow them to have the opportunity to meet people from different races. So this program has given them the chance to basically meet and make friends. Okay, so that are one unique program that I have experienced and also found very interesting and important, that maybe can be carried out or developed by all of us, at our different best level that we can do to promote unity at a very younger generation, which is the primary and also secondary school students. But there's also one program that can also be conducted involving the more adult participants, which is the university students. They are youth. They are our future leaders. Okay, so at CIMB Foundation, there are also programs that we have conducted, which is CIMB Young Asian Leaders Conference. So this involves ASEAN university students. So you can see the different colors, the different costume, the different races that have gathered together and do wonder things. So these are some of the pictures for this 2018 conference, CYAL, CIMB Young Asian Leaders, or CYAL conference. The theme was Smart City. So the students gather in in less than a week to come up with proposal on how to develop smart city in Asia. Okay, so these are some of the pictures. Okay, so basically from my experience looking at how CIMB Foundation and also CIMB Group conducted CSR program to promote unity, and also my direct involvement with that program, I think it is important for me to share with all of you, and hopefully can inspire some of us to do some reflection on how do we actually promote unity, what can we do and what can we do best, and also contribute to promote unity. So my reflection on this is to embrace diversity. It is important for all of us to embrace diversity at every level, at every place that we go. You know, it can be the schools, within our neighborhood, within our community, or even at the workplace. So at CIMB Group and also CIMB Foundation, I have seen that the culture is very strong in promoting unity in diversity. So in this picture, this is my mentor, Dr. Hamidah, right? And Mr. Soon, the manager of CIMB Foundation. So I work with different races, and the three of us here, me, Miss Elizabeth, and also Dr. Vicky, it is interesting and exciting to finally realize that, you know, we meet for a reason. You know, one Indian, Chinese, and Malay, we work together for Mosaic Camp. So this picture was taken before our briefing to the education officer, the Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri dan also Pegawai Pendidikan Daerah, and also the school principal. So we went to places, different places. We do the work together, and you know, I have experienced learning more about different culture and different races. And this is other pictures that that I would like to reflect. This is during my time at the CIMB Mosaic Sarawak. So it's a bit small there, but the word Jasiri is the name of this group. I've never come across this word before. So by attending this program, Unity program at CIMB Mosaic, I learned this is a language that means, Jasiri means bold, courageous, determined, brave. So for us to embrace diversity, for us to talk to different people from different races, different languages, for us to even talk or even put a smile to people with different colors, you know, that talk different languages, we need to be brave. We need to be, you know, humble, and also at the same time passionate, and willing to go extra miles to bridge the gap of the differences that we have. So it is something that I, even after my attachment at CIMB now, I also try to practice that, strive very hard to do that. Me and my neighbors, we have been exchanging food like almost every day, you know. I get nasi lemak from my Chinese neighbor. I give them rendang, right? So it is a way on how we can do small little things, but to bridge the gaps of differences that we have. Another reflection is the importance of synergy between the academia, between the academics. This is a pictures where during the training with the facilitators. So we do a smart partnership with Project ID and also Teach for Malaysia. So it is important for us to, when we want to do CSR, when we want to promote unity or do any activities related to charity or CSR, it is important for us to find the right partner and to have a good synergy with all of the partners. And this is this is what I mentioned just now about the briefing that, and also meeting with the JPN is Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri and PPD is Pegawai Pendidikan Daerah, and also the school principals. So I have seen that as for academia, we can play a very active role in promoting this concept of unity, promoting good values. Okay, the community are waiting for us, okay, and very welcoming as well. So whenever we go and talk to them and invite them to be part of the programs, surprisingly you can see that the response is very positive. It is always very positive. Even to think about the young children that we want to get approval from their parents, to take them away from their home for 5 days. And for the Sarawak, just now I shared that they have to travel by aeroplane, some of them for the first experience. It shows that the community is actually ready and willing. If we were to give to offer them good programs with promising benefits, I'm sure that there is a lot of positive response that we might get. So these are also pictures showing a good synergy that I have experienced with the facilitators and teachers. So you can really see from the pictures a smile, happy faces of different races. Basically, they are teachers and also consultants, okay, of different races. This is from the Sarawak. It's important for us to, when we want to do something, that relate with different background, it is also important to invite those with different background in the team. Okay, because sometimes we tend to make assumptions. Sometimes we tend to just post something to the group of targeted respondents or targeted audience that we want, without really doing our due diligence or checking or research on how is on what best, how to approach that the best way. So I think it's very important to do smart partnership, working together with different races to approach this program. So basically, having said all of that, sharing with you my experience with Cimb Foundation, particularly 2 programs, Mosaic and also CYAL, it comes to these final questions, because that was all the programs that I have shared were carried out in 2018 and also early 2019, and that was before the pandemic. Okay, even at that time, it was quite challenging at first to basically, especially during the first day of the camp, to promote unity and to encourage the students to interact with different races, right? But I can imagine that now it is more challenging, okay? With the new world of social distancing, we have new norms of social distancing and also online social interactions. So the question is how we can then promote unity. We know that the younger generation, the young ones, some of them have not even have the opportunity to step into the physical school. So they have no friends from different races, and even with the same race, right? So it is important for us to also think about this. They are the younger generation that is going to be the future leaders of our country. And eventually when they grow up, they're going to lead us. They're going to lead this country. So we cannot wait for too long to think about this. It is happening now. So I think it is important also to ask these final questions. How can we promote unity into this new world of social distancing? And my thoughts, basically, if I can make a call, to all academics, even the industry, to work together with industry, with the government, NGOs, but the center is the society itself. Start with our own self. Start this at home. How we can promote respect, good values within our close family, and also with our neighbors, our next door neighbor. Who are our neighbors? Do we really know our neighbors? Do we know their names? Do we know the problems that they are facing? Some of them are sick. Some of them are, having financial constraint and so on. And if they are from different races, do we really know, their cultures and try to understand them, right? So the society need to drive this. It start from within, right? So if I can conclude my sharing today is for all of us to always reflect on how we can do change and how can we can do how can we make change and how can we always promote these good values within our own self and also with people around us, closest to us. With that, I thank you. I pass back to Dr. Kalila. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Affah, for sharing with us your experience with Cimb Foundation. And I think looking into how you shared your experience from school children, going to the youth, and then going to the adults, like us, unity and diversity and socializing is part of humans' needs because we are social beings, right? So that all of us actually have the common calling or the common values to share with each other that goes beyond race, religion, and culture. It's like you said, over time, maybe where we are, and then what our surrounding is like might cause some limitation to some of these interactions to occur, and that is why programs such as this is needed from time to time at schools, universities, and even in the workplace. And I think. We also know that through our program at the CEO faculty program, it brings also similar values where we meet academics from different races as well, and
Exactly.
also diverse fields, right? Like from built environment, meeting somebody from science, engineering, law, chemistry. So even that teaches us to be more understanding and appreciating of what all of us are doing. Okay, so before we go to the Q&A session, so to the audience, thank you for still staying with us. So we see an active questions in the chat box, and we'll address that in a few minutes. But before that, you will see that our crew has shared the attendance link in the chat box and also feedback link in the chat box. So please share with us, spend a minute or two after this to share with us suggestions on this webinar. And let us know on the topics that you'd like us to cover or discuss, and if you have suggestions on speakers later on. And then maybe Dr. Affah, we can give them a bit of task also. Dr. Affah asked a question, right?
Yes.
How do we promote unity now that everything is in restrictions and we're practicing social distancing? So we would love to hear your ideas. So do share your ideas in the comment sections, and then we can share with each other. Okay, now to the Q&A. Let's go to the first question by Dr. Khairul. Dr. Affah, do you think that the education system in Malaysia needs to be reviewed to promote unity? And why?
I think it is always relevant for us to, in academia, I believe that it is a good practice to always review what things that we do, what we teach in the schools, in the university. It is something that is a good practice for us to keep reviewing things, to always do reflections and to improve our curriculum and so on. And particularly now that I raised the final question just now, because it is a question that I keep asking myself, looking at my neighbors. I have 5 years neighbors, but she keep coming to my house because I have rabbits. She likes to play with my rabbits. But she has no opportunity to go to school. So and she's the only one. She has no siblings. So I keep asking the final question that I posed to the audience just now. And I think this is the time. This is really the time for us to review our system, our education system, and by focusing more on unity and also the diversity, because we live in Malaysia where we have, surprisingly, we have more than 100 languages. If I were not been given the chance to be involved with Cimb Mosaic or CYL, I would have not come across a lot of literature about the diverse nation that we have. And I take things for granted, I just, we just know the major races in our country, right? We don't really know about the different races, hundreds of races that we have. So the education system sometimes is also just tailored to the major races, if I can say. But how do we, when my experience in Sarawak, and I can really see that there is a big challenge that we are facing. So it is always relevant for us to revisit and do improvement in whatever things that we do.
All right. And as what we see from what you shared, there's always need to be engagement between various parties. Like you went to Jabatan Pendidikan Daerah to do engagement, and then you also engage with the teachers so that whatever improvement that we need to do needs to take into consideration from all the stakeholders and people involved.
Yeah, people on the ground. We cannot make assumptions. Like we at the university, for example, we cannot make assumptions that this is what the schools need. This is what the children from Sarawak need. You know, we cannot just impose activity or CSR just telling them, okay, this is what you need. This is what we should fit you, right? But we have to get feedbacks from them, involve them in even our planning, and at the early stage of developing any modules. I think it is very important.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Affah, for responding to the first question. Now let's see the second question from Dr. Zakwan. Dr. Affah, in your opinion, what makes it easy to promote unity through CIMB program?
I believe it is. I have a personal view, and I strongly believe in these principles. And I always believe that it takes leaders. I have to say this: that it takes leaders in everything that we do. It takes leaders to really drive any organization. So by leaders, I mean I can also relate to at home. Okay, the parents are the leaders, right? So if you are only husband and wife, so the husband is the leader, right? So it takes leaders in a small nucleus family, and furthermore in a big organization like corporation like CIMB. So I have witnessed in CIMB, the leaders really, they walk the talk. Within that 6-month period at CIMB, for the first time in my life, I have shown one picture just now when I talk about embracing diversity. That was my first experience during the Chinese New Year. We do Yisang, and that was my first experience. And I have experienced celebrating Deepavali, Chinese New Year, because maybe because they are ASEAN Bank. So they really value diversity. That is their strength. The different, the unique differences that they have complement each other and make them stronger. So I think maybe it is easy because the leaders have a strong belief in promoting unity. So I think if I'm sure that because we are in UIA, the majority of us who are listening here now is in UIA, right? So we can start from within. Maybe Office of Industrial Link can think about how we can do linkages, and to inspire others, be the leaders, be the champion in this important area, which is unity.
Okay, thank you for responding to that. And if I may sum up of what you're saying is that, when leadership shows the direction of what needs to be done, that it can trickle to the rest of the institution or agency to emulate the same spirit and the same direction, perhaps. And I know that, like in UIA, we have every year we would have the Umatik Week. That is IIUM's version of celebrating the diversity of globally, in terms of the people, students from the different nations, staff from different countries, and then appreciating that culture. And then that has always been part of IIUM's tradition. And like what you're saying, maybe it's also very important to look closely into our home as well, to also celebrate the diversity that we have in Malaysia. All right. So yes, we still have time. So we are going to go on to the next question. But before that, I would like to share some thoughts and perspectives that our audience has shared. Dr. Zakwan feels that unity can normally be achieved when we hold on to common grounds. And that goes to what Dr. Affah was sharing just now on the values that we hold together. And for example...
And if I can add that, Dr. Kela, we have the advantage of the love in food, for Malaysia, right? We have Malaysian food. So we can be united with nasi lemak, for example.
Food always brings people together.
Food unite us in some way, right? So we cannot deny that, right? So like I said just now, the pictures of me with my two other friends, Miss Elizabeth and also Dr. Vicky, we find a lot of happy moments with cakes, with just having snack with cake. So sometimes we can start with that, what about I challenge all of us, right, today, start knocking your neighbor's door, not but of course social distancing, but just hand over something, food. give present, give food, right? So that apart from, we talk about value, respect, love to each other. So, but it need to be demonstrated with actions. I have to say this. We cannot just put it in our hearts that, I respect you, I love you, I care about you. But without no action, I think it still have questionable.
Yeah, it cannot just be a slogan. It must come with action, as simple as sharing food. And I think from what you shared, like even games for children, and then food, those two basic things can actually, become an icebreaker to get people to warm up to each other and get to know each other. Okay, let's go to the third question from Dr. Afidalina. Dr. Affah, how to ensure sustainable efforts in promoting unity at IIUM? What do you think about that?
Sustainable means continuity, right? If I understand it correctly, that's why we need to think about our younger generation. Okay, when I say about leaders just now, normally leaders are the senior one, right? It just happened to be like that. Normally the one who hold the position as leaders are normally the senior one. But what we always have to think about and also realize that and admit the fact that all leaders will, have an end. This is a fact, it's a nature. It's a natural process. So by being leaders, having the chance to be leaders, we have to really make full use of that period of time by really developing the young one to pass on the baton to the young one. So to sustain unity efforts at IIUM or even elsewhere, it is always for us to really always look at the young one. So that's why my worry, especially during this pandemic in these 2 years, is by looking at the young ones, my kids, my neighbors with kids, right? How are they going to, whenever we don't know yet when this crisis end, right? But whenever the gate is open for them to go to the schools, for them to go to the market, for them to go to the to the park, are they going to be shy from, are they going to be happy and wanted to interact with people from different races, right? Even at IIUM, my first year students, they never interact physically. So how can we then promote or ensure sustainability in the efforts of promoting unity among them? So we have to. I have some answers, ideas, maybe not answers, idea. But I always welcome that Dr. Khalila said. Please put in the comments. Give a lot of ideas on how we can tackle this, because very true. Thank you, Dr. Affah. It's important questions. Yeah, to talk about not just promoting unity, but to talk about how it can be sustained, the efforts to be sustained, right? So I have no direct answers to that, but I believe it is by working with our young ones. Okay, working with our young ones. The answers is by looking at them, understanding what can excite them. Okay, what feed them, what excite them is maybe not the same as what excites us as when we were small. It's not the same. They talk different languages. They use different gadgets. They use different technology. So we also have to keep it up, to keep up with that, right, Dr. Khalila? We have to, like, the whatever age that we are in now, we have to speed up our skills in technology, for example, for us to reach out to the young one that now are in our screen. We're not meeting them in personal or in physical context. So it takes all of us to work together, I think, to answer that important question by Dr. Affah.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Affah, for the question, and Dr. Affah for the answer. And you're right. When we talk about sustainability, it's not something, because sustainability has to do with the concept of time. And then, at each phase of time, things will change, which means that, for example, now we may have approaches for unity and diversity before the pandemic, but now in this temporary pandemic, we definitely have to think of a way to detour or a trajectory of how we can then meet the sustainability objectives. And then after that, when things change again, we have to be agile and adapting to ensure that things are continuous. We cannot just propose the same solution for something that is very dynamic. Okay, and talking about that, let's share the thoughts from Dr. Hanis. So Dr. Hanis suggests that, okay, be the connectors via social media It reaches and unites people in no time, and we could optimize our jabatan netizen, inverted commas, yes, in a composed and positive way. And I remember joining a workshop by Iman Publication. There's a well-known publisher who publishes contemporary Islamic books. And then in their workshop, they mentioned about content creation. And then, social media is flooded with a lot of content. And we know that some of those are negative influences, while some are good. So if we're active on social media, we can take that opportunity to become content creators, to provide positive contents. Because like you said, the youth nowadays engage in different platforms. So as if we want to be change makers, we too have to change our approach and platform as well.
And sometimes we don't really need to put the burden on our shoulders only, right? For example, to master in the new technology, the young ones are very fast. They do wonders with their the videos. We can really see in social media also in writing the captions. We cannot use our language. It doesn't reach out to them. Because we don't speak the same language with the young ones, right?
You get them to teach you, right?
So I think we also need to do smart partnership with the young ones, right? I mean, the youth, right? The youth, right? And to be the content writer, the content developers for our social feed, right?
Right. Okay. And then, I'm just going to highlight another comment by Dr. Zak, because we were talking about games and food just now. And you're right, Dr. Zak, Azizul Hasni Awang in the Olympics managed to unite us all for a few seconds. Sports does that too. Everybody, we were rooting for this. I'm getting chills now just talking about it. Because
sport is definitely one thing that unites us, but the challenge also now, how do we do that in the social distancing era, right? But I have seen my kids, right? Because she play chess, we play chess at home. So she joined a chess competition that is at global level. I mean, world competition.
Online?
Yeah, online. So I think it's something that we can encourage our students or our the young one to don't just look at videos, just stay away from making friends, but also real connection, even virtually. Something that we can work. So yeah, true. Sport is one thing that can unite us.
Right. And then even competitions, like now there are a lot of competitions that we can find online that students and youth can take place, like drawing competitions, video competitions. Those are also some active way of engaging rather than just passive engaging. It's like when you view something just for consumption, but when you do active engaging, you're also contributing back to the world in a way. Okay, so today has been such a great and inspiring session, Dr. Affah. So maybe before we end, would you like to leave some words for our audience to think about?
I think this is maybe the right moment. This is Friday. It's a blessed day, and we are in the month of Merdeka, so a blessed month also, Muharram as well. So I think let's start do changes from within. We start with our own self, then inspire others around us, inshallah. Try to make change and make an impact. Thank you.
Inshallah. Right. Thank you, Dr. Affah, for sharing with us your view, your experiences, and also responding to the questions. So, brothers and sisters, that wraps up our session for today. And next week on Thursday, 19th August, inshallah, we will have another sharing session on a completed knowledge transfer project by Dr. Siti Hazaria from Kulliyyah of Nursing. So again, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can be alerted when new webinars and talks and sharing sessions like this from OIL is shared on YouTube. So do join us again next week. Till then, take care, stay safe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye, Dr. Affah. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you all.